when it comes to actors, you've worked with a who's who of actors.
I have.
Brad Pitt. I mean, just this whole long list. Do you mind naming a few? I don't want to put you on the spot.
Good Lord, I've worked with, oh my God, Andy Griffith, Dick Van Dyke, Meryl Streep, Karen Valentine, which I had a crush on Karen when I was watching Room 222 when we were kids. You remember Room 222?
Yeah, sure.
And then I wound up doing a movie with Karen, Jill Clayburgh, who I love so much, and worked with Jack Lemmon. And recently had the pleasure of working with Denzel Washington, playing his boss in the movie The Little Things. I've been around Harrison Ford. Good Lord. And it goes on and on and on and on.
So true. And then directors, who's who of directors.
Wolfgang Petersen, right, who directed us in Air Force One. The great Ridley Scott, the greatest director I've ever worked with. John Cassar, the greatest TV director I've ever worked with, who was our primary guy on 24. Blair Hayes, who does tremendously deep, emotionally connected work. We did a Christmas movie together in Nashville a couple of years ago called Every Other Holiday. But yeah, I've worked with
Michael Bay has actually probably helped with your royalty checks.
Michael Bay has been a dear friend. And, when it comes to action adventure, I don't know of anyone who's better at directing stuff like that. And I just had the pleasure of working with Robin Wright. A lot of people remember her as Robin Wright Penn. Robin Wright directed the episodes of Ozark that I just finished shooting.
She's from Dallas as well.
In Atlanta, yeah. So,
wow, powerful. And so, again, and there's a whole list of names you did not mention that I have in front of me. And so with your desire to share, to speak, to put out in the world, and this incredible list of relationships that you keep having reoccurring roles show up with them, do you have a desire to write a movie or to be the producer or to direct a movie? And if not, what's kept you from wanting to go that direction?
It's a great question. I feel it's the inevitable progression, the natural organic progression of things will find me in the director's chair. After all, I keep one here to ready my butt for it. Actually,
add to, you have an acting school as well. So yes,
I do. And I do a lot of directing, and I've been directing for many, many years, and I've directed short films, but I'll wind up directing a feature. I'm sure it'll probably be sooner than later. It, to this point, has not been that important to me to do it. I love being an actor. I've also already made films, meaning that my wife and I executive produced a film back in 2012 that was released in 2014, a film called Flutter. And that was a powerful experience to be the providers, along with my buddy John Hall, who helped us finance the film. And
so part of it, it's a big commitment. So you have to really be enticed, I would think.
Without question. And when the right movie comes down the pike and they want me to direct it, I'll direct it. I've been offered other directorial assignments for feature films. I've already been offered 2 movies to direct, and both times I was really up to my neck in business with a series, one during 24 and another one while I've been shooting The Resident. So I haven't been free to do it. And being a director is a full-time commitment, as Jason Bateman can attest.
Yes.
That actors, we go in, we do our scenes, we leave. Directors don't. They go in and they stay all day, every day for the entirety of a production. So I've never known that level of commitment. Even Kiefer Sutherland on 24, my buddy Kiefer. Even Kiefer, if you think about it, you think, well, God, he must be there all the time. No, he's there most of the time. But there are a lot of days when he doesn't have to work that day, and he doesn't come in, or he does 1 or 2 scenes and then leaves. And the director of those episodes, they're there all day, every day. So it's the highest level of commitment there is being a director.
I think of Ben Stiller and Ben Affleck and Clooney and some of those that did it a few times, and they're like, that's not something they're ambitious to keep doing. Like you have to really want that it almost has to be your project.
And I worked with George Clooney on his directorial debut. which was in the film Good Night and Good Luck.
Hmm.
And I remember him saying, not sure this was a great idea to wear both hats.
No, it's not easy. I think he also did, it's not Dangerous Minds, the one with the Gong Show.
With Chuck, Chuck Berry?
Sam Rockwell, I'm a huge fan of, was the star. What was that? Was that?
I can't remember the name of it.
Something Dangerous Mind. And Clooney was a small part, but I think he directed that one as well.
Yeah. And I've also, another great actor, turned director that I've had the pleasure of working with is Clint Eastwood. And we did a movie called Blood Work. And once again, I played Clint's boss, which is kind of the absurdity of, he's quite a bit older, but I played his boss in that film. And that was one of those pinch me, am I dreaming moments?
Yes.
I mean, you can imagine. And no matter how long I'd been making movies, and at that time, I think I was at about year 30, seems like it was about 15 years ago. And, they roll camera and Clint is directing, and I'm the actor that's in the role, but I'm also still Glenn. And I'm looking up. I mean, there's a camera to my left, but I'm looking up and I'm having a conversation with someone I've watched since I was 4 in Westerns and in all these great iconic films. And first of all, I'm having a conversation with him and he's looking right at me, which they never do on screen. They're always looking at someone else, but now Clint Eastwood is looking at me. And then there's the other thought of, and when I'm done with this heavenly adventure, someone's I'm sorry, what? They're going to give me a paycheck for it? It's pretty cool.
And he has done that a lot. I think even Outlaw Josie Wells, all those he directed, acted. Yes. And that's one of my top 20 favorite movies. And
is Outlaw Josie Wells?
I think so. Yeah.
I got to go back and see it.
I've seen it so many times, but he also does the score at times for his movies. So someone like Clint has probably had to take the complex and make it really simple. Like I don't think he has a huge appetite to get into the details, extreme details of perfection, right?
No, he doesn't. And in fact, I don't know if you've heard this about him. One is he loves to surprise the actor.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you what Clint Eastwood does when he calls action, because I had been warned and then I saw it for real. He goes just like this. Can you see behind my back?
Yes.
He doesn't even say action. He is signaling from behind his back for his crew, which he has worked with for over 40 years. And they know it's coming. So he's doing this. He starts going over the scene with me. We're going over the scene. And we finish and he goes, that'll be my take. That's what I'm going to use. And I said, oh, did you go back and look at it on the monitor? And he goes, no, we shot it. And I said, I had been warned about you. And then he showed me, what he does behind his back to just let him know, roll camera, because he just wants to have a conversation. He is known as two-take Clint. And the reason is he feels that anything beyond a second take winds up hitting a point of diminishing returns.
And you got to appreciate that as an actor, not having to over labor.
Yes. And you really appreciate it when you're the one shelling out the dollars for the movie, because time is money on a film set. So it means that he's moving through a lot of material rather expeditiously. And his feeling is that the early takes are the truest takes. And you can't fault him. He makes great movies.